Hey there, here we are again for another behind the scenes for Becoming Retail. When we look in the hearts and minds of retail executives to understand their thoughts on digital transformation and where this awesome industry is going. And one of the provocative points we borrowed into is to understand, does digital transformation happen with pure play or digitally native brands? And okay, it's a spoiler alert, but the short answer is yes. You know, actually, what we found is 57% of respondents from pure plays led a digital transformation. In fact, 30% more productive they were and effective and successful than the total respondents. So what that tells us is it's not just about pulling back the legacy technology from brick and mortar brands, but in fact, now that these pure plays in many cases have been around for 10, 20 years, there's digital transformation happening, in fact, inside these organizations. So Michelle, you want to talk a little bit about some other data points that you found interesting and what we were able to glean from our research?
Definitely. Those are fantastic data points, right? Totally underscores the need for digital transformation across the spectrum, no matter what channel you're playing in or the age of the company. And what I found interesting as well is that they're focusing on the same things that the total respondents were. So it's all about e-commerce, customer experience, and IT. So it's no wonder that we see a lot of acquisitions or acqui-hires or just outright hirings of talent from these types of companies, because these leaders are doing digital transformations in the same areas as total retail leaders, and they're more successful at it.
Yeah, you know, what really stuck out, to me was your interview, Michelle, with Nicola Thompson. She's the COO of Made.com, which is an online-only furniture store. And you know what was she's been in e-commerce since the beginning of her career and the beginning of a time. It feels like she started at ASOS.com. And you know, her point of view is digital transformation is perpetual now. Technology is constantly evolving, even and especially in the pure play space. And there's a lot of technology and technology debt that comes due, but at the same time, there's continual innovation. I mean, you think about it, with shopping at the edge and digitally native brands and even brick and mortar retailers having to push their brand to wherever the consumers are, not just on our property or their property, I should say, but you know, on social, on messaging, on live streaming, voice, and of course, gaming. And so they have to continually think about how to push the brand to wherever the consumers are. And she also, you know what, Michelle, if you remember, talked about new business models as well. At Made.com, she's thinking about rentals, or should they be playing in marketplaces? This is really thinking about expanding their virtual four walls to really being where the demand is generated and where consumers are not only being inspired, but actually want the buy button embedded to really create a frictionless experience. So, hey, Michelle, what else are you seeing out there?
Yes, that's very important. So not only does the business have to evolve its technology, but the technology needs to evolve with business models, which is something that I found really interesting from that interview. And then when I spoke to Lockie Andrews, who was the CDO and CIO of Untuckit, a digitally native brand, she had a different perspective. These startups who are relatively young don't have the technical debt that the legacy retailers have, whether they're pure play or traditional, but they have different challenges that require digital transformation. The main thing is that they're scrappy when they start. They don't have these processes and technology and these programs to help them scale at the beginning. They're all working in Excel. So what she has found in her journey is that it's all about change management in order to get people to use technology that enables the growth that comes with a fast-growing startup.
Yeah, you know what this thread has taught me as we kept on pulling and looking at the data and talking to different retail leaders is, Michelle, you know, no matter the organization, what type of segment, where you derive your selling channels, every retail leader needs to think about what's the next wave of technology that's going to help support the business and, more importantly, support the customer in order to stay relevant. So taught me a lot in my journey as I continue to look towards becoming retail. Thanks for joining us today.